Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to tell you that I am a woman of my word, and I have Lisa Woodruff back again this week to finish our conversation about her amazing system that she's created with Organize 365. She is really, it just feels innovative when somebody tells you a new way to boil pasta. It's like, you know, the way, you've been doing the best you can. It's not new information, but there's just this reframe that for me, it really just opened up so many new ways of thinking about things and really how to implement our role in our house as if it was a business. So becoming the CEO of your home, becoming the COO of your home, and what those two roles look like and how they work in tandem and how they work to support your livelihood and your well-being and your cognitive function. So this is so wonderful. I'm really thrilled that she was able to come back, and I will tell you about her again. If you did not hear episode 1, just pause this right now and go back and listen to episode 1. But if you did listen, I'm just going to remind you that Lisa Woodruff is the founder and CEO of Organize 365. She is the author of 4 books, including How ADHD Affects Home Organization and The Paper Solution. Lisa's understanding of the lived female American experience has helped her to articulate why women are overwhelmed, tired, and what to do about it. Through the Sunday basket, which she speaks a lot about in today's episode, she helps externalize the routine tasks that take up the executive functioning capacity of our brains, freeing us up to think and create again. So please grab a notebook and a pen. You are going to be wanting to jot these things down, and then you're going to want to put them in a box called your Sunday box and not look at them again until Sunday, but you'll be so glad you did. Lisa, thank you so much first for agreeing on the fly to make this 2 episodes. Thank you for coming back. We've all been sitting on the edge of our seats waiting to know about these baskets and boxes and paper solutions and all the things. So thank you for coming back. I'm so eager to continue our conversation.
Wendy, I'm so excited we're able to do this. And I really love that it is 2 episodes, because I don't love to jump in with here's how you get your house organized. I think it's too prescriptive, and I think you need to understand the why first, because decluttering or taking back your house in a weekend is usually a short fix. And I am a teacher, and I want to teach you how to get organized and stay organized. And so you need to totally shift your mindset in what you're trying to accomplish and how you accomplish it.
I love that. And that's all the intention that I put behind every other decision that I make, because I feel this is so fascinating. I think it's because I feel I'm in control of all of those decisions, but what happens at home is something that just happens to me and not,
Right,
which
exactly.
that's great. I don't even think like that. That narrative is actually no longer in service. I'm so happy we have
I
had this
love it.
conversation. This is so great because I have been doing this work. I've been doing this personal development work. I've been sifting and sorting through what I assumed was every area of my life,
Yep.
but actually not every area of my life. So this is so fascinating. Please tell us all the news fit to be typed, all everything
Okay.
we need to know, that this limited amount of time. So I feel like sometimes you meet someone and you're like, oh shoot, it's always going to be too short.
Don't
So
worry, I have a whole
sad.
podcast, 10 years worth of podcasts. There's
Okay,
plenty out there. So we'll just focus on you right now.
fantastic. Okay, go.
I'm not going to talk about business. I do have a business product. I used to be a business coach. I know how to grow businesses. I feel like thousands of people cover business. You mentioned Gino Wickman. I do EOS. Like, it's been covered. Let's talk about the house. That's where we're not covered. And first, I want to paint a picture of what happens when you decide you're going to finally take back your house so that you can truly understand that I know exactly where you are. And then you'll be like, okay, that's why that doesn't work. So here's what happens. We just had 4th of July weekend coming up. Maybe you'll be listening to this over Labor Day weekend. Whenever you have one of these random holidays where you're off, or at least the kids are off school, if you have children and you're like, okay, it's a 3-day weekend, or it's a 4-day weekend, or it's the end of the year, I've got like a whole week. That's what I need. That's the problem here has been there's not been enough time. So because I have enough time, I am literally going to take back this house, and then it will be like a genie has been here and we will live happily ever after in organization land. So you come downstairs, you're like ready to go, grab your coffee, your Coke, whatever it is. And you're like, okay, first thing, I'm cleaning out this refrigerator. So you start to clean out the refrigerator, you take the trash out, you're like, oh yeah, this garage is a mess. We need to clean out this garage, put everything where it needs to go. Might as well throw in a load of laundry because my laundry is right next to my garage. Okay, it's lunchtime. We're coming inside. We have lunch. Oh, I'm going to do the dishes, clean off the counter. Now it's the afternoon. Well, everybody's done a good job. Maybe we'll go out and we'll get ice cream or something. And the evening, you make the laundry, you put it away. You're like, yes, I got another day. Get up the next day. Okay, now we're going to clean these kids' rooms because they are an abomination. So everybody is doing their rooms. We're going to finish up the laundry. I'm going to make the grocery list. All right, the family room, put everything where it needs to go. You've gotten to the end of the weekend. The next weekend, the kids' rooms are an abomination again. The refrigerator needs to be cleaned out again. The kitchen is a mess again. The garage, about half of that stayed organized. You did not do anything that would stay organized. You just did more housework than you usually do. That's why you're not making any progress, because the goals that you're setting are things that will never be done. Laundry will never be done. Dishes will never be done. Meal planning will never be done. You should do it at the minimal level possible always, because it's never going to be done. Every once in a while, you might want to clean your laundry room, but you don't need to perfectly fold laundry. As a matter of fact, if your children are under the age of 5, I'm telling you to stop folding anything. There should be clean baskets of clothes and dirty baskets of clothes. And that's it. That's all you have. The clean one is green and the dirty one is black. And you have 2 laundry baskets for each child's bedroom. Problem solved. You just saved yourself hours of time. So that is what we do. What we need to do is we need to be both a CEO and a COO. The CEO is going to start living proactively, strategically, and the COO is going to create operational systems in your house that are going to work. So one more caveat I need to give you before I'll give you your like 1 to 3 year plan. In detail, you'll know exactly what to do. This caveat is this: the marketplace will tell you, most online organizational experts will tell you, it starts with decluttering. And it absolutely does. It does start with decluttering. But a lot of organizational experts only have decluttering in their arsenal. So what that means is, I just told you about actually getting organized. Let's say you're like, I'm going to take back this house and I'm going to get organized. I'm going to declutter. And you walk throughout the house with the black trash bag and the cat is hiding underneath the couch and the kids are like, we're going to go ride bikes because mom's going to get rid of all of our stuff. And you get rid of as much as possible. And the house feels much lighter and you feel much better. And it is easier to clean and organize for a period of time. The problem is, the next time that you feel overwhelmed, you grab a black trash bag and you go through your house again. This time, though, there isn't as much to get rid of because the things that you kept you actually want. But the only way you know how to feel like you have control over your house is to get rid of things. So
Hmm.
then you start getting rid of things that you're not really sure you want to get rid of, but you really do want to feel more control of your home. So you're like, well, I'll get rid of it so I can get the control. And that's when you start to regret things that you have decluttered.
Hmm.
But the problem is you don't need to declutter anymore. You actually need to create new organizational systems for the things that you have left. And a lot of us don't want to live a minimalist lifestyle. So since we don't want a minimalist lifestyle, we figure, well, we can't get organized because I have too much stuff. That's not true. You just need to attack it in a different order.
I love it. I'm here for it. Go,
Okay, I
go,
just
go.
keep going.
Yes,
Taking a
please.
breath. It
I'm
is your
sorry.
podcast.
I'm
Okay,
listening to a
no.
podcast right now.
Okay, great. You just raise your hand when you want to speak, Wendy, since it's your podcast. Okay,
I'm
so
really
we're
like,
going to
I'm
get started.
so into it. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to get started. So getting started, you would never hire a COO before you hired a CEO. So you have to hire yourself as a CEO before you can start organizing the house. I know you're itching, you want to get stuff done in the house. Feel free to declutter as much as you are ready to declutter. That can be your organizing for now. But the first thing you must put in place, in my opinion, is the Sunday basket. Because until you have a place where you can safely put things that can wait until one day a week to be decided on, you'll never make progress because you'll forget the birthday party invitation and then you'll berate yourself about how horrible you are at your management job. It's just no good. So mail goes in the Sunday basket. If you get a text message, instead of going back and marking it unread, I want you to take a piece of paper and write down that you need to respond back about the birthday date 4 years from now that your over organized cousin wants to know about. Put that in the Sunday basket. It can wait till Sunday. If you get a message on Instagram for your business, let's say you're a direct seller, and you want to reply to that person, write it on a piece of paper, put it in the Sunday basket. If you get a phone call you need to respond to, right? We're going old school. Pretend you're in fourth grade. Get a whole bunch of index cards. They're like free right now at the store. Get index cards and write every single thing on paper. And I also want you to write your own personal thoughts. I want to write a book. I need to get my hair done. We need to get milk. The dog needs more flea and tick medicine. All of those could go in the Sunday basket except getting milk. Because also, when you start letting your brain have every thought it wants to have, whether it's like, I think I might want to get my own PhD too, and we need more toothpaste at the same time, because that's how your brain thinks.
Right.
Write it all down on paper. If it can wait, it can wait. And as you go through this organization process, you're going to end up with a lot of time, and you too will be able to get your own PhD. And you'll remember, oh yeah, I wanted to get a PhD. So we're writing down
Amazing.
all of the ideas.
Can I ask a
Then
question, please?
yes,
I have
you
a
may.
question. Thank you. Is there a brain trick about writing it down that would not work if I just added that to my reminders on my phone for Sunday?
I'm so glad you asked that, Wendy, because I have now found every single piece of literature about that, and they all say the same thing.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Even if you write it with a stylus on an iPad, not the same as writing it with pen on paper. It gets encoded deeper into your brain when you write it on a pen with paper. Now, my caveat will be, I'm going to give you how I teach people who are unorganized to get organized. If you have a system that works for you, like you always do groceries in an app on your phone, don't change that. Anything that's working, don't change. But if you don't have a good system, use my system.
Perfect.
Because it's a system.
I love paper. That's why I was asking.
Oh,
so
most people
I
do.
love to write. I mean, here's my stack of recently completed journals, which is 10 high for my listeners that can't see that. Those are just the ones that I need very easy access to.
Yes. And so then when we do the Sunday basket on Sunday, you get to revisit all your little pieces of paper. And the reason why they're great that they're on individual pieces of paper is they're not a list. If it's a list, you would start doing the ones that are easy so that you wouldn't have to write them next time. No, everything is equal. Everything is on an equal little piece of paper. Yes. So now we're playing cards. So if it's something you could do real quickly, like I usually spend 30 minutes to an hour doing as many tasks as I can on Sunday so they don't even have to go anywhere. Sometimes it's a big thing, like I want to get a PhD. That goes in a pink slash pocket. Your slash pockets are pink. So it's an idea that I want to do in the future. It goes in the Lisa slash pocket. I don't have to do anything about it, but I've captured it. And then there are some things that you're like, okay, I need to call the IRS because they can't find my money or whatever. Like you can't do that on Sunday. So then that becomes a task you put on your calendar for the week, and then you plan out your week. And really, the Sunday basket does a lot of things. But the main thing it does is it stops making you make decisions during the week and your brain to trust that you're going to actually make decisions sometimes. So it'll stop reminding you. And within 6 weeks, your brain's like, oh, she's going to keep doing this. Okay, fine. We'll give her any idea we have. She'll write it down. It goes in that box. On Sunday, we get to think about it with her. She'll pick the ones we're going to do. And then some of them will stay there forever. It's fine. It's no big deal. Now you have a lot more mental capacity during the week and you're living proactively instead of reactively. Right. That is step one.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you know anything about human design?
Maybe.
Okay. So I do not know much.
Okay.
But I know that there are some different authorities and they're how you make decisions, and like some are sacral authority, or you're really you mix your intuition. So how do you balance decision making from a really grounded, intuitive place only on Sunday?
Okay. I think I'm probably an intuitive person.
Yeah.
So if I get an idea on Thursday and I really want to do it, I'm going to do it on Thursday. It's not like there's somebody taking your paper out of your hand and putting it in the box and you have no choice anymore.
Okay. Because some things I think are good for me. Yes. I need to, I have a sticky note that says there's a 24 to 48 hour waiting period for all decisions. I know that sticky note is there. I do not implement that information. So the Sunday box would be really good for me.
So like this podcast is a great example. This is a PhD day. I don't even do interviews on Thursdays, but you only do interviews on Thursdays. So we booked it on Thursday. You're like 2 episodes. I was like, yes. You said do it now. I was like, yes. I'm supposed to be writing a paper. I already know. I know how I was going to use that hour. I know that I gave it to you. I know where I already have mentally calculated where I'm going to make up that hour because I have to make it up before Sunday. So when I said yes to you, I knew where I was moving the thing that I just said no to, or I had to move. In the past, I would have said yes to you, but I would not have known how I was going to use that hour. I would have ended up on Saturday night and be like, shoot, the paper's due on Sunday and I haven't blocked out time to write the paper. That's the difference. It's not going to regiment your life. As a matter of fact, I use my Sunday basket very globally. Like I just throw things in there and I like do them all. Some people are like, we put everything into every slash pocket and then we go through every single slash pocket and like they're very detailed. I'm not a detail person. My very first hire was an administrative assistant for a reason. Like I want somebody else taking care of the details. I am a big picture person. So this box will work for literally any kind of learning style.
I love it. Okay, proceed.
Okay. So the reason why I'm so adamant about this Sunday basket is because you may be in a period where you don't feel very overwhelmed. You're like, yeah, I'm going to skip that. Let's get to organizing the kids' bedrooms. The problem is the holidays are coming and we'll all be drowning. Or if you think about May, if you have children, Maycember, as they call it, if you have children or whatever, like if you're an accountant, you're going to have tax season. There will be a season where you're overwhelmed. The Sunday basket is your levee that gets you through those seasons. And if it's not in place, it's too late to set it up. So you need to set it up first. Now, let's tackle the house because that's what you want to do, right? Let's talk about physically organizing the house. There is an order to organizing your house. I realized this when my kids were little. My husband's family was coming over and he said he would help me clean the house. And I was like, okay, great. And he started in the family room. I said, you're starting in the wrong area of the house. I said, I'm going upstairs. I'm going to strip the beds. We start in the bedrooms. He's like, I'm doing the family room. I'm like, you're going to do it twice. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, fine. So I went upstairs, I did the bedrooms, I did the kids' bedrooms, I came downstairs, I started doing the living room, dining room. By then, my husband, very typical, he's out doing the grass because that's what men do, like they're cleaning the yard. So we come in, I'm doing the kitchen, he walks in and the family room is trashed. And he's like, the family room's trashed. I'm like, I know. He said, how did you know? I said, because I've been pushing the children down to that area because the last thing you do is you clean the family room, you get in the car, you leave the house. That's the only way that you have a clean house. You know, if you have children, you're nodding your head. You're like, exactly. There is an order to organizing your house also. If you have children, you want to start in your kids' bedrooms. We do not start with the kids' bedrooms. They will stay organized for 1 week ever. Like it's not even worth it. Actually, kids aren't even in my program. You have to buy kids totally separately. I only focus on you. So imagine it. It's Labor Day.
I bought my kids separately too.
Yeah, separate them out. Okay, so imagine it's Labor Day. All right, you've got your Sunday basket, you've got that up and running, and you're ready to go into the fall. And you are going to start organizing this fall. And I am going to have you start with you for two reasons. Number one, if you start organizing with yourself, you don't have to tell anyone in the family you're doing it, because you probably tried to organize before and it didn't work and they're going to judge you, and you don't need that. And number two, if you can organize yourself in the first couple weeks, couple months of being your organizing journey, you will be organized 80% of the time. You interested?
I love it. Yes,
Okay.
please.
So organizing your bathroom, your bedroom, and your closet. Like you're pretend you are your own mother and you're going through all these spaces for you. I wear the same makeup all the time. So I have brand new of all my makeup, and I bought a double of everything. In my closet, you have clothes in there that look great and were very expensive, but they don't fit your body or your style or whatever. Like, you don't have to get rid of them. You can move them somewhere else. But my rule of how your closet is organized would be that if I went in your closet and I picked something out and I said, put this on and we're leaving the house, you would put it on. So whatever's in there, you have to put on.
Okay.
And I give you 2 months to do this. Like, we do step by step by step, 15 minutes a day of getting organized. When your bedroom, bathroom, and closet are organized, you will go to sleep organized and you will wake up organized. Sorry, you're not 80%, you're 50% organized. So you go to sleep and you wake up in an organized space all the time.
Yeah.
The next thing you do, if you start in September, is you would then do your storage room next, because nobody in your family goes there. Only you go there. And if you do it starting in September, it's going to be about the holiday time. So half that stuff's going to come out anyway. It's a really easy place to organize. Actually, during the holidays, you could go down there and probably get 30 to 40, maybe 50 minutes in before the family even knows where you are. It's kind of nice. I like it.
Yes.
I just turn on a podcast. So organizing the storage room when it's half empty, putting in proper storage. So a store has shelves. Does your storage room have shelves?
No.
It has boxes. I know I've organized hundreds of storage rooms. Whenever we would go in and organize storage rooms, we would get rid of 50% of what was down there, and it was almost all empty boxes and broken things that you don't know what to do with. It was expensive. Maybe another family member wants it. They don't. And you feel guilty getting rid of it. So 50% was just broken things and boxes. The rest needs to go on shelving. And I tell you the specific shelving to get. It's the plastic ventilated HDX shelving that you get at Home Depot with the bins that match. And you make a prepaid store. Your storage room is a prepaid store. So when you go down there, it should have your Costco, it should have your holiday, it should have your extra decorating, it should have your off-season clothing, your kids' extra stuff, so that you would buy there before you spend cash somewhere else. It should not look like a flea market or a dumpster. It should look like prepaid storage, like a store. So that is, again, when you get your storage room organized like this. Are you ready, Wendy?
I'm so obsessed. I'm sorry that I'm
organized.
not speaking. I had 8,000 questions before. Now I'm just like, giving me the goods. I want it all.
It will be organized forever. Forever.
Hey.
You literally can move from your current house to your new house, and it will be the only space that's organized when you move in. You will never have to, the things in there, you'll change the bins out, but it literally will be organized forever. A 90-minute tidy a couple times a year is all you're going to need to do in your storage room, because it's a store. It's not a dumping ground. So that is huge. So now here, you've been organizing for 4 months. Your personal spaces are organized and your storage room is organized. You're like, this is amazing. Also, you haven't touched any of the family areas yet. Right. Now we're going to tackle the family areas. So the next thing you're going to do, we give you 3 weeks to do the kitchen. And you're going to go, not just the, first weekend through, every cabinet, every drawer, everything, and create zones for the phase of life you're in. So you need a drink zone where you have the coffees and the shakes and the teas and everything all in one cabinet. You need a cabinet where all the breakfast things are. You need a cabinet for all the baking things. If your kids are packing lunches, everything for lunches should be, you open one cabinet, everything they need is in there. They don't have to open 18 cabinets in order to pack their lunch. Make your kitchen match your phase of life. It matches probably your mother-in-law's idea of organizing, because she unpacked those boxes for you when you moved in and you never undid it. So that's what you need to do. When your kitchen is done, now you're 80% organized. Right. Because your bedroom spaces are organized and your kitchen is organized. Now, most of your day is spent in organizing spaces. Now, from there, you get to choose your own adventure. You could do the rest of the living areas of your house. You can go into information management, which is all the paper that you have. And we have a whole system for organizing paper and information management. And we organize it in how you would use it. Instead of like organizing a file cabinet, we have these individual binders. One is for anything medical related. One is for anything house related. If you were to sell this house, you would give all this information to the new homeowner. One is operations related, like holidays, pets, vacations, recipes, cleaning things. And one is financial related, anything related to how you run your household today financially. And if you need it, somebody needed to be your power of healthcare, power
Sure.
of attorney, or settle your estate. Everything they would need would be in there.
That's
So
amazing.
that is physical. Now, do you want me to tell you about kids real quick?
Bring it. Bring it.
Okay. Children. My children did not do chores. Uh, School was very difficult for them. I taught them life skills in the summer. They didn't have the capacity to run my household for me. So, but I did want them to learn ownership of space. And so when my kids were little, I called their bedrooms their mini apartments. And every 3 years, I redecorated them. Sometimes it was only paint, sometimes it was a new comforter. It didn't cost a lot, but I kept their mini apartment up to date with their likes and their tastes. And it really was their own little space. I used an IKEA cube system. They had a bed. Neither of them had a desk. And the cubes in the IKEA cube system, I would keep updated with whatever their passions were. And that was the space that I required that they keep organized. And in the kids program, as a teacher, I walk children through how to set up and establish zones and keep them organized in their bedrooms. I suggest you do this in the summer. There are like a bajillion million videos in there. For example, there are 5 on clothing. So I talk to children about how to identify what they do and don't like in clothing, and then respectfully talk to their parents about that so that their
Yep.
parents could stop wasting money on things
Yep.
that doesn't fit them, and
Yep.
so that they are better with what they like. And then I
Because they
teach them
don't
how to
care
organize
that
that.
it was made by a designer in France.
Nope,
They care
not
that
at all.
it's made of wool and it's
Yeah,
itchy.
scratches. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So you've wasted the money.
Yes.
But it's hard to have those conversations. So I teach children how to have those conversations. When they hit 16, I have a different program called Launch. And in Launch, from 16 to 25, we teach young adults how to move from their childhood bedroom into whatever their adult living space is going to be, an apartment, a dorm, a condo. And there's a binder associated with that, which are little mini portions of the adult binders so that they learn their medical history, their finances, their renting, their, what does a wardrobe look like? What should you be trying to buy to when your parents stop buying you a new wardrobe every year because you stopped
Right.
growing? Like,
Right.
how many of these things should you have? So it's like hashtag adulting, and that's the Launch program. So organizing kids is a completely different animal than organizing your house. So are you organizing your house for you? Do that first, then do the kids, because there's a lot of maintenance, a lot of teaching, and a lot of time. And once your spaces are organized, you'll have the time and capacity for that.
Sure. Right. Right. And you'll know that it works. You'll know it's sustainable. You'll know that it impresses your mood. You'll know
Yes.
that it's great. You're not just convincing somebody of something that you read on the side of the box or on
Exactly.
the reviews
Exactly.
of the program. Right.
Yes. And so our programs, like to organize the house is called the productive home solution. To organize all the paper is called the paper solution. The kids is called the kids program or Launch. You can buy all these individually, and then there are bigger packages where you can buy it all if you want to do it all. And we just cycle through it. It's a school. So we start with personal organization in September, and we cycle through every year, all these different spaces. You can mix or match. You have access to everything immediately. It's a lifetime program. So as I add more videos, you get more videos. In each section, I'll have like real life organizing. So I have like 3 different times I've gone through my closet, a whole bunch of, I have travel videos and kitchen videos. And just whenever I get in a mood, I'm like,
Right.
okay, let's watch me do this area. Like when something gets
Right.
out of control, I'll reorganize it. So that's being the COO. Like that's all operational. Once you get through your house in the first pass, you're going to feel great. But
Yeah.
by the time you've done it 2 or 3 years, I mean, your house is going to be more organized than any other house. It's not that it's necessarily going to look like it belongs in a magazine, but you'll always know where everything is and you will feel completely in control.
Yeah.
How you want it to look is a design aesthetic. I don't ever tell you like which containers to buy other than the storage room. And that's just function. I'm a functional organizer. I am not a decorator. You can do
Right.
any kind of decorating that you want.
I love that. It's so great. So you mentioned a Sunday basket. You said there's a Friday box that's for work.
Yep.
And then what was the third?
Then I have a school component. We put it inside of schools, and a teaching component, organized teaching, the invisible work of teaching.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
It's amazing.
So there's
It's
one
so
more
good.
thing.
Please tell me the things.
Now this is where I get even weirder. Do you want to just say it?
I love it.
Because I'm
I'll nerd out on home organization all day long
okay.
with you, Queen, because I mean, I feel like I'm organized,
Yes.
and there is an area one way to really be organized is to move to a big house,
Mm,
because I have enough space for all my stuff
yes.
now. So now I feel
Yes.
very organized. I just wasn't as organized because I had to be really resourceful and creative of where I was going to put all of these fabulous things I must have. So now when people come over, I say, oh, open closets and open doors and open cupboards, because it's so fun to have the
Yes.
appropriate amount of space. It's amazing. But there is, I'm so glad this is not on video. There is a space where my desk is that is also my ironing suite and also the laundry room. And yeah, that's it. So those are two full-time jobs that happen in this room alone. So
And I love how you say they're full-time jobs, because they are. Like,
mhm,
being a household administrator, it's a full-time job.
mhm,
Parenting is a full-time job.
mhm.
Running
And
your own company
owning
is a
a
full-time job.
business that is
Right.
multifaceted is a couple full-time jobs, and it all happens right here.
And I think that that's a superpower women have. I don't think that we need to divide and delegate it. I think we just need to embrace it and own it.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to the last one, which is the other CEO task. So the other CEO task is to do planning days. So I do
Mm.
business planning days quarterly, and I do home planning days by trimester. And the reason
Mm.
why is, even if you don't have children, in your home, you plan by trimester, you don't plan by quarters. On July 1, you're not like, I wonder what we could ship. No, nobody does anything in July. It's the Bermuda Triangle of months. Don't even plan July. We plan September to December, January to April, and May to August, because we all went to school and we all started school after Labor Day. So we think about the fall and the holidays. Then we think about the long rest of the school year. And then we think about, how do we get to summer? What do we want to do in summer? If you have young children, you might lump May into the summer, or like May can shift. You can put it with either one of the trimesters that you want it to be. But I do a 2-hour prep day on Thursday, and then a 4-hour live planning day on Saturday at the end of August, the last weekend in December, and the beginning of May, usually Mother's Day weekend in May. And we sit and we make decisions for 128 days,
Mm.
because the Sunday basket is exceptional at moving you from reactive to proactive and planning weekly. But after a while, that's not good enough. You need to
Right.
add on to that this trimester planning, where you go, okay, in the next 4 months, what are the holidays, the birthdays, the trips, the unexpected? What is my work schedule like? Every trimester, you're going to cook differently, dress differently,
Mhm.
like change out your closets at that time. If you have kids, they're in different sports, different whatever, they need to sign up for different things. And you make a lot of bigger decisions that are going to impact 120 days. And then you go back to the Sunday basket, where you run that plan weekly. But that weekly plan now has a quarterly plan that has a bigger component to it. And when we actually do that quarterly plan, we actually project out for the whole year and the next 3 years. So
Mm.
when you think like, oh, like it's going to be my son's 24th birthday, which means next year it's going to be the 25th. So I'm already thinking about that now.
Right.
Whereas in the past, it'd be like, oh yeah, next month is my child's birthday. Oh my gosh, you're going to be 25. Like, it comes out of nowhere, as
Right.
opposed to like, when my kids turn 25, we're going to do trips or something like that, where
Yeah.
you're more proactive, thinking about it. Can we afford that budgetarily, based on the number of children, based on when those are going to fall? It just gives you a lot more. You're a CEO. You're much more like a CEO when you're
Right.
planning that way.
I love this. And I love that being the CEO of my house is going to make me a better CEO of my business.
Oh, 100%. Oh, so that's another great thing that I learned when I was doing Organized 365 from my house. When I would drop off my kids at school, I would come home and I would do my housework, and then I would do my Organized 365 work, and then I'd pick up my kids, and then I'd do more Organized 365 work in the evening. And they'd be like, you're always working. You're always working. My husband, you're always working. And finally, I was like, I am always working, because I'm doing housework when they're not here. So then I
Mm-hmm.
learned, drop the kids off at school, do Organized 365 work, pick them up, do housework. So now they still say to me, you're always working. I'm like, yeah, do you want underwear or not? Like, do you want me to do the dishes or not? Like, do you like, look, it's housework. Feel free to do it with me if you'd like. But it's not where I'm doing emails that they can't do it with me. So they're
Right.
seeing me do the work that benefits them, not the work that is my paid work, like their school work and my husband's paid work. Like I'm doing paid work when everybody else is doing paid work. I'm doing non-paid work when
Right.
everybody else is supposed to be helping me do
Yeah,
non-paid work.
exactly. Right. Yes, I love that. That's such a great shift.
Mhm.
All of these things are so wonderful, and I really appreciate the way that you have compiled them because it's not new,
Right.
but just the way that you've presented it
Yes.
feels like an aha. And it
It's the
also
order.
feels like a no wonder. No
Yes.
wonder the wave keeps coming. I
Yes. It's
thought we
not going to
already,
stop.
right.
Yeah.
I love, yes, it's all just so good. I'm so grateful for your time and telling us about it, but I'm so grateful for your time in developing it and going deep and following your passion and how the ripple effects of your yes, of you
Mm.
wanting to deep dive into this information, of you wanting to publish
Yeah.
papers, of you
Yeah.
wanting to do these things that don't necessarily delight me, but wow, am I the beneficiary of your yes? It's all just another example and validation of how when we say yes to ourselves, everybody
Mhm.
wins.
Thank you. And you mentioned earlier about being intuitive. I knew like at that 3-year mark of doing in-home organizing, like I was very profitable. Like I could have just stayed a solopreneur and been very profitable and been done. And I remember thinking about that. And also, there was the ability at that time to pivot into organizing in corporate, which a lot of professional organizers do. Like a couple of years into doing home organization, then they get in with a business, and then, it's really lucrative. Personally, it's personally very lucrative. And I remember saying to myself, I'm not going to do that because I was like, the homeowners need me. But I didn't know what it would be. I was just like, if I commit to sticking with the homeowner, maybe I'll be able to solve this for more people than just the people
Mm,
I'm professionally organizing, because
mhm,
I don't think any home organizer has stuck with home organization long enough to make a big enough impact
right.
for other home organizers. And I said that like 9 years ago, and I'm sure it's on the podcast because I just yammer on the podcast. Um, and I remember over time getting opportunities to work in corporations and being like, no, I'm going to stick with the homeowner. I'm going to stick with the homeowner, which is not as lucrative, let me tell you, at all.
Right.
But I think that the impact long term is going to be bigger
Yeah.
because I'm trying to fix it at a systemic level, not at a media popular level or what, like, how do we systemically fix this?
Right. Oh, it's such good work. Thank you so much. One question about the program.
Mm-hmm.
So is it for other home organizers, or is it like professional home organizers, or is it for me as an organizer of my own home? Is that who the program is for?
Great. That's a great question. I would have never even thought you wouldn't think it's for you. So I'm a teacher. I basically have created a school. So I have a certification. So there are people who literally get certified in my paper organizing in the Sunday basket. So they get the certification, they have the ability to resell it and do that. Then yes, the whole school is for you, is for the
Okay.
person at home who wants to get organized. What is so funny is I have a really successful client and her husband stays home with the kids. There are a lot of women like this in our audience. And so she does the Sunday basket and she does the work boxes and she's like, okay, I'm buying you the productive home solution, to her husband. So he's in the group. He's like, there are a bunch of women in here. And she goes, listen, she's in a very male oriented industry. She's like, I could count on one hand the amount of meetings that I have per year where I am not the only woman in the room. So you are going to be the only man in the organized 360 room, and you're going to do it, and you're going to do it well. And
Right.
there are more and more men that are doing the productive home solution. But it's the whoever is doing the organization, the operation of the home. does the productive home solution and the paper solution. Whoever is doing the planning does the Sunday basket and the planning day. Now, the Sunday basket is not universal. So if you're married, you should each have a Sunday basket if you want to have a Sunday basket. Often only one adult has one. But if both adults are doing the system, then both adults have the Sunday basket. It's like your purse. Like you
Right.
wouldn't have anybody go in your purse. So the way it works is if you delegate some of those slash pockets over to your partner's box, then you don't take them back. Like only one person is in charge of that part of the operations of the household.
Sure. Well, and I love to thank you for answering the question because you
Yeah.
said it's for the home organizer.
Yeah.
And I immediately
That's
thought
you, Wendy.
the
It's you.
professional. And I'm like, oh, no, that's a vote for the woman I'm becoming. I am the home
Exactly.
organizer. Right. I love
That's right.
that. I love that.
That's
It's
right.
not the person trying to be organized. It's I am her.
Yes,
I
and
love that.
it's priced like a school. So, like I mentioned in the last podcast, everything you buy usually has a physical component we ship to you, some kind of an online training component for me, and some group that you're in that's going to have at least a feed, if not also a co-working time. And so when I price these, it's like you're buying a course with all of those things, but the whole like you can get the whole entire thing for the price of preschool. Preschool's not cheap, you guys. So it's not like these products are free. They're not free. It's an investment, but it's not like
Right.
getting your PhD. And literally, your household is either proactive or reactive. You're in
Right.
control of that. And it is proactive to the degree in which you've actually put in the systems in the operational system. So if you look at Gino Wickman's EOS, I hired an implementer in order to do EOS inside of our company. And we did that for a couple of years. And now we do it our own. And now we know how to run EOS without an implementer. It's kind of like that. It's
Right.
all lifetime purchase. So once you're in whatever course in the school, as we make improvements and modifications, you just get all of those.
Oh, that's amazing. It's such beautiful, generous, necessary work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and thank you for your time. This has been so fun. I'm really excited to enhance my current system and really, because phases in a
Mm-hmm.
person's life require changes.
Yes.
I'm divorced, so I have a lot more space to put all my stuff. So it makes it feel like less of a necessity to necessarily get organized, but a system to stay organized while I am also running a business is really important because I find on days like this when I have back-to-back podcast episodes, which are so fun, and then I go downstairs, and thankfully I knew this already, and yesterday made dinner that we can also have tonight.
Yes.
But on the nights that I haven't done that, and I come downstairs and now I'm wanting to engage with my daughter and I need to go do my chores, and if it hasn't rained, I have to water the dahlia field. I mean, there's just a constant pull on my physical body and attention. And when multiple days like that occur, stuff gets missed.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of the Sunday box in addition to all the other ways that I'm capturing ideas. And I have to have a Sunday box where I meditate because I have a lot of good ideas. I am an idea factory.
Yeah.
And
You're
they
an
come,
entrepreneur for sure.
yes, they come from those places. So just being able to systemize the magic
Yes.
doesn't dim your flame. It
Right.
allows you to burn brighter and not set it all on fire.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so good. So good. Yes, because people are like, no, I don't want to be contained by the system. I'm like, okay, but if you have no structure whatsoever, like it's you miss things that you wish you wouldn't have missed. Like you need
Right.
some structure. You need some structure at home.
Exactly. A few podcasts ago, I was talking to this woman about She's an amazing accountant, but like a business strategist as well
Yes.
for entrepreneurs. And like it's just a perfect blend of divine feminine and divine masculine,
Yes.
where if you're just in your feminine, you're just water, you're going to be all over the place unless you have a container, which is a system, a part of the masculine to hold the water. Otherwise, it's just making a mess everywhere.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Agreed.
so much for your time. Tell everyone again where they can find and follow you. And we'll link everything down below in the show notes as well.
So I'm Lisa Woodruff, but I'm Organized 365 everywhere. So you can find Organized 365 on Instagram. It's organized365.com, and Organized 365 is the podcast.
Perfect. Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Lisa. I can't wait to play with you again.
Thanks, Wendy.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.